arm of businesses. And we do become, I think, a hub for inward investment in partnerships then, because a business working with a university can offer up to inward investors a lot more intellectual capital than they can on their own. Some of the things that businesses have said about working with the University of Plymouth, they talk about the fact that that engagement has transformed their business offer, a significant change in their business. They talk very importantly about the way that the business has engaged with the university, and the university understands what those business challenges are about. That's really important, and we've got to do a lot more of that. I still think, and I'll come on to this, that universities are still quite difficult to work with. We've got to become much easier to work with. They talk about the value that engaging with businesses and with the university, that the practical advice, the very practical advice, not up there in the clouds or blue skies, but practical, relevant advice that will add to the financial stability and the competitiveness of those businesses. They talk about the fact that it was actually easy to communicate with the university, and that's something we're working exceptionally hard on, to make it easier to engage and find the portals into the universities and find the people you want to talk to. And they recognise that the engagement with the university has actually given them a competitive edge. It's actually changed the way in which they've positioned their business. It's brought into that business skills, ideas, and it's helped that business grow. So the university, working with businesses, public and private, is all about the economic uplift of the cities and regions, and indeed nationally and then internationally, and also about the social inclusion agenda, because let's not forget the skills agenda as well. And I think what we're looking for is a genuine uplift to GDP and a real sense of upskilling across a whole variety of people within the community, taking that widening participation agenda forward. So the kinds of examples, and these are just some, and I'll click on a few of these just to talk through about how do we find spaces to work with businesses. The work placements and internships are incredibly important, and they can be 1 year long, they can be much shorter than that. But the opportunity for students to engage and add value through that engagement to businesses is something that's very important. And if we accredit that within their degree programme as well, that really does add a huge amount of value to that new graduate. Knowledge transfer partnerships I'll mention in a moment. Businesses actually helping guide the curriculum and providing advice on the very type of graduate, the oven-ready graduate that they want to buy, very important. Staff being placed in universities, community projects. One of the projects that I've launched at Plymouth is actually asking the local community for their own research questions, and actually taking those research questions into the university and partnering those with academics within the university so that local research questions are answered by their local university. Flux, I'll mention, graduate business partnerships, higher education innovation funding, HIFE, on our 4th round now, working with sort of pre-incubation and incubation spaces, such as Formation Zone, which is in the creative industries, the Tamar Science Park we're a founding member of, and lots of other ways in which we try and create a permeability of the university and businesses working together. In things like leadership training, for example, we recognise that actually we could spin in a company that specialises in leadership training and link that with our own master's programmes and professional doctorates in leadership offered through the business school. And that kind of entrepreneurial approach to thinking about the permeability of universities and businesses was something that I think is very important to take forward. So lots of activities, postgraduate fairs, lots of our students out there, 12,000 of them, actually working with businesses. Entrepreneurship and enterprise modules cascading across the whole curriculum, really active engagements and things like enterprise weeks. And Flux, which is the national competition for student or sort of entrepreneurs. It's a national competition. All the universities across the UK are in there. Plymouth was champion in 2007. Plymouth was champion in 2008. And it's something that I think kind of distinguishes that sense of the enterprise agenda within the student curriculum. So those leaders of tomorrow emerging. Let me give you some examples of the kinds of schemes that are around, which help us within the university and help businesses access the university. So the Graduate Business Partnerships was actually a local scheme, University of Plymouth and University of Exeter, 20-week programmes, and it really helped to introduce into businesses graduates. And the important thing for me, given that the South West is still a net exporter of graduates to the rest of the country and other countries, is it really helped us retain that graduate expertise within the region, and that really will be, I think, very useful for startups and just adding value to local jobs. 24 Media, which is the largest independent media company, it's based in Plymouth. Most of the staff in that company, as I go around, seem to be alumni of the University of Plymouth. I did find somebody who'd snuck in from Bournemouth, but we know who they are. And that company has really, I think, benefited enormously from the sense of engagement with the regional university. KTPs that you'll know about, knowledge transfer partnerships. The University of Plymouth is the largest provider of knowledge transfer partnerships across the South West. Significant amounts of money flowing into business and into the university. Does contribute to the research assessment exercise. We're waiting for our results. That'll be in the Times Higher, I think, on the 15th. They get to know, the universities get to know on the 17th of December. But we enjoy a 100% success rate. And I think some of the initiatives that are coming through now to help small and medium-sized enterprises around mini KTPs, or I think there's going to be a different name for them, but shorter kinds of engagements, I think are really going to show value. And I think the opportunity to recover full economic costs, the idea that these schemes are nationally driven as well, really does provide a very permeable way of engaging the university with businesses. A couple of examples where I think the university's expertise in sustainability has genuinely helped a company save a huge amount of money, and more importantly, save a huge amount of carbon emissions, is sort of acknowledged as one of the kind of successful outcomes of a KTP with Becton Dickinson. So a real sense of added value, tapping into the intellectual capital within the university about sustainability, taking that into the business through the knowledge transfer partnership, through that individual who's there, and adding a huge amount of value to that business.